Hello and welcome back. As always, my name is Leyzar, and today we're gonna take a very close look at Medivh, the incoming Heroes of the Storm specialist. Yes, he is a specialist. Initially in the development cycle, they thought of him as a support, but lately they changed their mind and moved him to a specialist, and it would appear he is all about utility and making plays. So we know his full abilities, we know his full talents. They've been out there for quite a while now, and some of you have requested that I do my customary talent analysis, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna go over each and every ability and each and every talent. So first off, let's start off with his Q. This one, as with most of Medivh's ability, is quite interesting. Is a skill shot in a line. Hold on, let me bring up the footage here. There we go, and make it all big and all whatnot. So his Q ability is called Arcane Rift. It costs 60 mana, it's on a 7-second cooldown, and as you can see, it's a skill shot in a line. Launch an Arcane Rift in the target direction that deals damage to enemies in its path. Nothing special there, but if an enemy hero is hit, the cooldown is reduced by a whopping 5 seconds, okay, and half the mana cost is also refunded. So you get a 2-second cooldown if you hit a hero, and you get half the mana cost back to you. So it's probably going to be very important to actually land these on heroes and keep poking away at them like that. And that's about it for Arcane Rift. We're gonna move on to his W ability. This one is called Force of Will, and this at the Heroes of the Storm Summit, this has been the cause of many pro players saying that this would make Medivh a tad overpowered. So Force of Will is on a 5-second cooldown. It costs 50 mana. Project your will onto an ally, shielding them from all damage for 1.5 seconds. So let me say that again. Shielding them from all damage for 1.5 seconds on a 5-second cooldown. Okay, yes, this sounds extremely strong. It can be considered similar to Uther's Divine Shield, but not really, because this doesn't really offer protection from crowd control effects, and it also won't remove crowd control effects or other movement impairing effects and so on and so forth. But anyway, that's Force of Will. Again, 50 mana, 5-second cooldown, 1.5-second uptime, and obviously it's gonna be we're gonna be able to augment further this one through talents and all whatnot, but we'll get there. Okay, so after that, let's move on to his E ability. Yet another very interesting ability for Medivh. This is the one I like the most because it kind of fits his profile as the last guardian the most. So this one is called Portal. Pretty simple. 75 mana, cooldown is 20 seconds, 2-0. Place a portal at Medivh and the target location, creating a link that allows allies to teleport between both portals. The link lasts for 6 seconds. Now, a few things about this portal. It doesn't travel instantaneously, okay, from one point to the other. You do have to click on the portal, and after, I think, of 0.5 second channel time, from what it looks, I have no experience playing Medivh, okay, 0, now that. It looks like you would teleport through the portal, so you gotta click on it. It's a small channel time to it, and then you will travel through. You can travel back and forward as many times as you wish for as long as the portal lasts. Again, that is 6 seconds, and this appears to be a huge playmaker from my point of view. Right, let's move on to his trait. Now, his trait, again, another very interesting ability for Medivh. Where are you? There you go. So he will transform into a raven. You're gonna press your Z key. You're not gonna have a normal mount like most heroes. Instead, you'll have this awesome looking raven form. What does this do? Well, transform into a raven. Possessing a Tish allows Medivh to transform into a raven. Upon transforming, Medivh gains 15% 1/5 movement speed and fly over terrain and become immune to all effects. Okay, so again, immune to all effects. Now, I don't have the info, but it looks like a 1.52 second cast time to transform to Raven form, so you're not gonna be instant like Rhaegar's thing, like Rhaegar go instantaneously to wolf form, and that's a good thing, because again, you are immune to absolutely everything. You can fly over enemy structures, nothing's gonna attack you, nothing can knock you down from the air. You can cancel this ability early, however, by using another ability. Okay, maybe you want to fly over the enemy team, okay, and place down the portals. Okay, you'll place down the portals, and that way you can initiate, you kind of can bring your team into them like that. That's just an example. You can also press Z to cancel it early, and that is Raven form. Okay, this is gonna give you a lot of scouting potential, and basically there's nothing the enemy team can do about it. They're just gonna know you're there, but they can't do anything about you. Let's move on to what is supposed to be the juicy bits, and that would be the ultimate abilities or heroic abilities for Medivh. Let's start off with, oh yes, the polymorph. Now, this one was teased in one of the teasers. We were kind of wrecking our brains trying to figure out what will the new hero be and all whatnot. It looked like a mage, and apparently it is a mage. So, this one is called Polybomb. It's got a 75 mana cost and a 40-second cooldown. Polybombs the target enemy hero, silencing them and suppressing their attack for 2 seconds. On expiration, the target spreads Polybomb to other nearby enemy heroes. Now you see it's got a circle around it, okay? When it expires, if there's another enemy hero in that specific circle or multiple, it's gonna spread to one of them, okay? And that's Polybomb in a nutshell. This is indefinitely like a chain bomb. Okay, like a chain bomb level 20 upgrade. Relentless makes it scarier as it activates faster, leaving less time to split up. And well, that's about it for this one. Not a very heroic-esque ability. The level 20 upgrade, which we will get to, does make it look a whole lot more appealing, and it's probably gonna be easy to balance out because of the range. Okay, you increase the range, it's gonna be easier to spread Polybomb and so on and so forth, and it just requires the player that is polymorphed to move away. Obviously, what you're gonna do with Polymorph, what you still do with Polymorph today, cancel big effects like, I don't know, maybe a Keltas Pyroblast, ATC Mosh Pit, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's what Polybomb is going to be useful for. Obviously, if you couple this one with the crowd controlling abilities to get people all clumped up, maybe a Gaslow Gravel Bomb, it's going to be easier to get the Polybomb spread. But considering what we see on the screen right now, the actual range, that's rather small. It's going to be easy to step out of that one. Let's move on to the second heroic ability. Where are you? Here you are. Okay, let's make it big so it's a lot more visible. Okay, here we go. So, the second heroic ability is called Lane Line Seal. It's got a 75 mana cost and an 80-second cooldown. So Polybomb, keep in mind, it's only a 40-second cooldown. This one is on an 80-second cooldown. After 0.5 seconds, unleash a forceful blast of arcane magic from beneath the ground, imprisoning enemy heroes in its path and placing them in stasis for 3 seconds. So again, a 3-second stasis. What is stasis? Well, Zertul's Fang. Okay, that's like the most simplest way to explain. Zertul's prison is stasis. So basically you can't damage those heroes and they can't do anything at all. They're just caught there for the duration. And well, that's about it. As you can see, it's a huge skill shot on the line. It's got a lot of range to it, but as you can see, the travel time is not that great. I mean, the movement of the projectile is rather slow, so it shouldn't be too difficult to step out of the way unless you're crowd controlled or something along those lines. And that's gonna do it for Medivh's basic abilities and heroic abilities. What we're gonna do now is we're going to move to the talents. Okay, like I said, we have talents at absolutely all the tiers. So let's start off with level 1. There we go. I'm gonna move my face over here so it doesn't bother you. So level 1, first talent is gonna be Stable Portal. Portal lasts 50% longer. Okay, clear to the point. Again, it normally lasts 6 seconds. Now it will last 9 seconds. Second option at level 1, Raven's Intellect. This one is for your trait, for your Raven form. Mana regeneration is increased by 100% while in Transform Raven. So again, while you're in your mount, kind of like Rhaegar gets bonus regen and mana regen and health regen in his wolf form with the level 4 talent Feral Heart. This is just 4 mana, however, with Medivh. Third option at level 1, Mana Adept. This is for your Q ability. Increases the mana refund from hitting enemy heroes by 100%. Normally, it refunds half the mana cost. Okay, if it's increased by 100%, it's going to be the full mana cost return to Medivh. And I'm starting to see this pattern of all these mana talents. Note how he doesn't have Conjurer's Pursuit or something like that, so it may be mandatory that we have some mana talents on Medivh, but we'll have to wait and see. Again, I have no experience playing Medivh, and speaking of which, this is all before release. Okay, so some of this stuff may get changed somewhere down the line. Okay, so don't take this necessarily as final, but it should be pretty much what we're gonna get. Let's see, final option at level 1, Portal Mastery. Placement of both portals can now be controlled separately. Normally, you get only to control while you place the faraway portal, and automatically one portal is placed at your feet. So you place one wherever the hell you want, and the other one will be placed at your feet. With this specific talent, you will be able to control both locations of the portals, the entry and the theoretical exit. The first portal won't link until a second portal is cast nearby. So you can cancel an unlinked portal using your D key. Okay, maybe you wanted to do a portal, but then you change your mind, okay, and you didn't link. Okay, you didn't have the time to place the other one and link. You can cancel with D if you change your mind. Okay, obviously you're gonna have to be quick, and things may change down the line. So you may want to consider rethinking your portal strategy. We're gonna move on to level 4. First option is gonna be Mage Armor. This is a talent for your E ability, at least it looks that way. Allies gain block the first time they use a pair of portals, reducing damage from the next 3 heroic basic attacks by 50%, last 5 seconds. So it's pretty clear what this one is. Okay, you go through the portal for the first time. Okay, you're gonna get 3 stacks of block. You guys know what block is. Okay, it's the same old block. It's gonna help against AA heroes, especially melee heavy team composition composed of AA heroes. Maybe something like a Grey main, but then he's got ability damage as well, and so on and so forth against a Rainer, etc. So pretty clear what this is. The point is, if you go back and forth through the duration of the portals, you won't get 3, 6, 9 stacks of block. You'll just get 3 the first time you go through them. Second option at level 4, Bird's Eye View. This one is a separate ability, an activated ability with a 30-second cooldown. Permanently increase transform Raven vision range by 25%. So while you're in Raven, you're gonna get a whole lot more range. Again, better scouting. Activate to increase this bonus to 200% for 5 seconds. Again, this is on a 30-second cooldown, and as you can see, it's got an active and a passive component. The passive component, vision range by 25%. The active increases the bonus to 200%. So if you want to see absolutely everything, okay, absolutely everything around you and scout, okay, you're gonna use this one. 5 seconds, you're gonna get the vision, and it's only on a 30-second cooldown. And keep in mind that in Heroes of the Storm, and especially in Team League and so on and so forth, vision is a very powerful tool, and apparently Medivh has that in spades. Alright, and final option at level 4, Dust of Appearance. This again is a separate ability. Active ability, cooldown 45 seconds. Activate to reveal enemies in the immediate area around Medivh for 10 seconds. Does not cancel transform Raven, so you can use this one in Raven form again. So you might be saying, okay, what's the difference? What's the point? What's the thing? Why shouldn't I go for one or the other? Read this one carefully. Activate to reveal enemies in the immediate area around Medivh. Okay, so this one, the Bird's Eye View just reveals the whole area. This one reveals enemies around Medivh for 10 seconds. Does not, and you can also obviously use it in Transform Raven. Okay, again, direct vision on the enemy heroes, which is very useful. 10 seconds is a long time, especially when you're fighting cloakers. Okay, you're fighting a Nova, you're fighting a Zeratul or something like that. Obviously, this is gonna prove theoretically at least more useful than Bird's Eye View. It's gonna depend on the situation. Anyway, again, more vision options for Medivh. Let's move on to level 7. Right, so first option at level 7 is Arcane Explosion. This is a talent for our W ability, Force of Will. The first time Force of Will absorbs damage, an Arcane Explosion is unleashed for a bit of damage around its target. Now this is gonna help on your tank, this is gonna help on your melee assassin, maybe your Sonya, okay, which is more of a bruiser. Okay, they're going in, you're gonna place W to mitigate the damage they're gonna get, and explosion will be generated around. And like I said, I have no experience, I don't know what's the range on this thing, but again, keep in mind that Force of Will is on a pretty low cooldown, and it would appear that Medivh himself doesn't have a lot of damage, but can help others, you know, do their job, and with this one will deal more damage. I think it would have been cool if the damage the explosion would do would be directly dependent on how much Force of Will absorb, but there you go. Next option is Arcane Change, talent for our Q ability. If an enemy hero is hit, the next Arcane Rift deals 25% more damage. So normally, well, basically if you keep on hitting enemy heroes with your Arcane Rift, you're gonna deal 25% more damage with it. It doesn't stack. It would appear it doesn't stack. If it would have stacked, that would have been crazy, you know, 25, 50, 75, and so on and so forth. It doesn't really appear that Arcane Rift does a lot of damage. It appears to be okay, but again, Medivh is more of an enabler, more of a playmaker, not necessarily a damage dealer. Alright, the Master's Touch, another talent for our Q ability, Arcane Rift. This is a quest talent. Hit 35 enemy heroes to permanently increase the cooldown reduction by 1 second, and the damage dealt by 100, not 100%, by 100 the number. Unfinished progress is lost on death. So quest talent at level 7, on which you lose all progress if you die. Now, how hard is to die on Medivh? I have no bloody clue. I honestly have no bloody clue, but considering his kit, you should be fairly safe. The Raven, the Force of Will, the portals. Theoretically, this shouldn't be too hard, because a quest talent of this caliber at level 7 is a tad late. Normally you would get such talents between level 1 and level 4, not at 7. But then again, 35 enemy heroes. You can hit multiple. Again, our Q ability will hit multiple targets, and the normal cooldown is 7 seconds on Arcane Rift. Okay, so theoretically you should be able to get this one, and the cooldown reduction will make it out so Arcane Rift has only a 1 second cooldown. Okay, normally it reduces by 5, now it's gonna get another second, it's gonna be 6 second cooldown reduction, so only 1 second. Cool talent. Iffy though, if you ask me. I mean, at level 7, isn't that a tad too late? Raven Familiar E, final option at level 7. The Raven Familiar, a Raven Familiar circles allies that step through a linked portal. So going through the portal will give them a little bit of a raven over their head. For the first time, okay, so basically, again, if you're going back and forward, you're not gonna get multiple familiars, you're just gonna get one. The Raven will dive at the ally's next basic attack target for a bit of damage as spell damage. So again, you're going through the portal once, you're gonna get one familiar, you're going through the same portal again, not gonna get another one, you still have the same one, and on your next basic attack, that Raven familiar will attack your target and it'll deal a little bit of spell damage. Well, pretty clear now, I think. Definitely a nice talent. Let's see, let's move on to 13. At 10 is the heroic abilities, which we already talked about and I showed you guys. Free options at 13 only. Winds of Celerity. This is a talent for your trait, for your Raven form. Increases transform Raven's movement speed boost by 100%. Normally you would get 15%, so if it increases speed boost by 100%, so it increases the actual speed boost. Okay, it doesn't give you an extra 100 movement speed, so it's gonna be 30 bonus movement speed. Let me just check, so I'm sure. Yes, normally the Raven would give you 15% movement speed. With this one, it's gonna be pumped up to 40%, or at least that's how it reads. Quickening E lowers the cooldown of Portal by 50%. Now normally the cooldown of Portal is gonna be 20 seconds. Okay, now it's a big cooldown reduction. 10 seconds less on your Portal is a big deal, and keep in mind that I think Portal will be the playmaker. Okay, especially from what footage we got, all the possibilities, you know, with Raven coming into Portal and so on and so forth. I think this is going to be a huge playmaker. It's a very important cooldown reduction. 50% is going to be 10 seconds off Portal. Definitely love this one. Astral Projection will be the final option at level 14. The cast range and allowed distance between portals is increased by 50%. So you're gonna be able to place portals a whole lot more safer because again you have the cast range, and you're gonna be able to link them much further apart. Okay, you're gonna be you're gonna get a big distance between the two portals. So for example, jumping a boss. Okay, let's give that example. Or maybe jumping a boss. You're gonna be able to jump a boss theoretically from, I don't know, a bush way far away. Okay, on the other lane or something like that. 50% is a lot. I'm thinking right now at Cursed Hollow. Okay, you know the top boss, you know the bush on the top, just a little one, just right before the tribute location when the tribute sometimes spawns. Okay, place a portal from that to there and crush like that. They're not gonna see you coming. Anyway, awesome talent, absolutely love it. I just hate the fact that it's on the same tier as Cooldown, but they're both powerful. We're talking about level 13 here. We're gonna move on to 16 now. Let's see, only 3 options as well, and all of these are for your W ability, Force of Will. Keep in mind that at the Heroes of the Storm Summit, most pro players said that this will make Medivh very strong. Remains to be seen though. Circle of Protection, first option. An untalented form of Force of Will is also applied to allies near your target. Now this is a big deal. Again, an untalented Force of Will, that's your W ability, is also applied to allies near your target. Now again, I don't have any gameplay experience. I need to know, what is the splash range? How far apart must my allies be to actually the maximum, you know, the maximum distance, so they do get a Force of Will. Untalented, fine, but it still mitigates all the damage. So Gazlo Wombo combo coming in, tell them to stick, they're gonna stick together, you're gonna cancel out with Force of Will a little bit of that damage. Maybe there's a Kael'thas Phoenix in the area as well, maybe they want to combo it like that again. This is gonna be a huge talent, but I think this one will require, like most of Medivh's kit, very good team synergy and coordination, so probably he's gonna shine more in an environment such as Team League, when you got everybody on voice comms and you're coordinating and you know everybody knows what you're planning to do, because you can just say, okay guys, clumped up together, and you're gonna go with Circle of Protection. You're gonna mitigate all incoming damage, maybe a huge AoE or something like that. Next option is gonna be Enduring Will again for our W. Force of Will lasts 0.5 seconds longer. Now normally Force of Will 1.5 seconds damage mitigation. You might say, not that big of a deal. Keep in mind, it mitigates all damage for 2 seconds. It is a big deal. It's a huge deal. Definitely another very strong talent on Medivh. Reabsorption, final reabsorption. Okay. Upon ending, force of will heals the target for 50% of all the damage it absorbs. Finally, this is what I wanted earlier with the arcane explosion thing. So, this one is gonna heal the target of your W ability for 50% of the damage they taken. Let's say Kel'Thas Pyroblast. Let's say, for example, that Kel'Thas actually cast a Pyroblast with a Medivh around for some reason. Okay, you're gonna activate this. That target is gonna get a whole lot of healing. Okay, somebody is diving even better than this. Think of this W ability is absolutely crazy. Think about the burst team compositions we keep running today. Kerrigan with a Tyrande, with a Jaina. They jump on a target, you put W absorption onto them. Not only are they not gonna get damaged, but they're also gonna get the healing in a team fight again on your engager. Maybe you don't want to engage with a full-blown tank like Joanna, Moradin, ATC, and so on and so forth. Maybe you want to let the Thrall engage with absorption. That's gonna be something. That's definitely gonna be something. Absolutely loving the options at 16. Just wish we had more interesting talents for the his other abilities as well, but definitely looks interesting. And finally, level 20, which is the most complicated tier. Don't worry, I'm gonna move this one here so it doesn't bother. Wow, this is gonna take a while. Alright, so we're gonna start off with Glyph of Polybomb. This is gonna be the upgrade for our Sheepy ability. Polybomb explodes 1 second sooner. Okay, so it will pass sooner. And the spread radius is increased by 29%, so about 30%. Now this one I think is a work in progress because I don't know, it doesn't read all that well. Why would you want it to explode sooner? That means that the initial target would be less polymorphed. But it will mean that this is gonna be the increased radius, especially it's gonna be chaotic in the middle of the enemy team. Can you imagine this one keep on bouncing to one target to the next? I mean, if there's multiple targets in the area, okay, in the circle, it's not gonna jump to multiple at once. Okay, it's gonna jump to one. RNG is gonna come into play heavily on this one. Maybe you want it to jump to a Kel'Thas and instead it jumps to a Thrall, for example. Okay, so I think this one is a work in progress. Wouldn't really pay too much attention to it. Probably the wording is a little bit off on this one, but definitely the increased radius was a no-brainer. Okay, more radius, easier to jump to more enemies. Let's move on to Medivh Cheats. Increases the duration of the stasis effect by 43%. This is an upgrade for his second heroic ability, Leyline Seal. Okay, because that was a little bit off. So increases the duration of the stasis effect by 43% and gain the ability to redirect the ley lines once while it's active. So basically, the way I understand this one works, okay, it's gonna after you redirect it once, okay, you're gonna launch it in one direction, maybe they're gonna move in another direction, then you're gonna change your lane line again. You can't reposition it, redirect it. It's gonna travel the full duration again, okay. So it's basically kind of like that. And the stasis effect obviously is gonna be increased by 43%. So that's gonna mean what? Another second. Yeah, that's gonna mean from 3 seconds in stasis to 4 seconds in stasis. Again, you can redirect it once, and it will travel for the full distance once you redirect it as well. So there's that. Again, I think these are kind of works in progress. I gotta play with him. I didn't. So there you go. Arcane Brilliance. This is another talent at level 20, and this is another separate ability on a 60-second cooldown. Activate to instantaneously restore 200 mana to all nearby ally heroes and provide them with 10% bonus ability power for 10 seconds. Now the mana mech. Normally at level 20 there are very few heroes, if any, okay, that actually still have mana issues by level 20, and you can't exactly go into a game thinking, listen, I'm not gonna pick up any more mana talents like I normally do because I got Medivh, and at level 20 he's gonna be able to give me some mana back. By level 20 the games, usually most of them are decided, not all, but most games are decided up until level 20. The 10% bonus ability power is definitely nice, especially in a mage team composition. Okay, you go in with heavy ability damage dealers and maybe with a bloodlust, and you pop this one as well and just go for full maximum blow up on the enemy team. It definitely can work like that. The mana part is kind of meh, but I do like the 10% bonus ability power. Guardian of Tirisfal. Medivh is known as the last Guardian of Tirisfal, even though he wasn't really the last Guardian. That's how he's known, and he's very famous from Warcraft 3. He's one of my childhood heroes. Minions and catapults hit by Arcane Rift are instantly killed. Why do I see this one as like I'm losing talent? You know, this is how I see this one. This one is like, when will I need this? When I need to clear catapults and minions really, really quickly, and that's when I'm losing. Normally I shouldn't have a lot of catapults, which I need to clear. Besides, when I need to stay with my team because force of will and teleport and all whatnot. Huh? Yeah, this looks awfully like an I'm losing talent, and I don't really like I'm losing talent. But then again, that's just my view on it. And finally, the last option for Medivh at level 20. Invisibility, and again, a separate ability, 10 mana and a 10-second cooldown. Give an ally hero stealth for 20 seconds. Stealth is lost from damage or actions. Now, when they say actions, I'm guessing they not mean movement. I'm hoping they don't mean movement. I don't know, I didn't play, I don't know how this one plays out. If you guys know, absolutely let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, I get the damage part. Okay, but can I still move with the stealth for the full 20 seconds, or must I stay still? Because if I stay still, it's kind of meh. It's gonna be useful probably to set up traps and all whatnot. Again, only a 10-second cooldown. That's a very short cooldown, and the mana cost seems to be like almost nothing anyway. Again, this is at level 20, let's keep that one in mind. We're gonna have a pretty big mana pull up until that level, at that level. Stealth is lost from damage or actions. What do they classify as actions? From damage, yeah, if you're gonna be able to move around with it, this is gonna be huge. If you're not gonna be able to move around with it, it's not gonna be as huge. And as you can see, this kind of concludes Medivh's talents. And his whole kit, his talents, his everything are built around playmaking. Setting up traps, okay, engagements, escaping, everything, okay, damage absorption, damage mitigation, crowd control abilities, everything about him, to me, at the very least, screams playmaker. And I'm extremely excited for Medivh. And I'll be honest with you guys, I was a little bit disappointed with Chromie, because mostly I wanted a dragon, most of us wanted. But Medivh is a total badass. Like I said, he's a childhood hero of mine. I played Warcraft 3 several times when I was a little boy, and I still play them today sometimes. And also his kit is absolutely mind-blowing. It's gonna be a bitch to balance out, absolutely. I hate to be in their shoes with Medivh, but definitely he is, from my humble point of view, the biggest playmaker we have gotten up until this point in Heroes of the Storm. And that's gonna conclude the video. As always, I am interested in what you guys are thinking. Let me know in the comment section down below. Opinions, theories, everything. We still got about 2 weeks until Medivh goes live. But until next time, guys, my name has been Leyzar. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. And I'll see you guys again soon.